little girl as a baby. She grew up. We started noticing that she stumbled a lot and she tripped and she fell. But a few years ago, I was trying to show her how to wear flip flops. I bought her a new pair and she was walking and they kept flipping off her feet. And I was like, okay, you put your toes on and then you curl your toes down. You hold on to the flip flop while you're walking and look down at her toes. And I'm like, okay, move your toes. And they would barely wiggle. And that was it. So we had an appointment with her pediatrician, and of course they didn't really know what to make of it, but they noticed that her reflexes weren't as strong as they'd like as well. So it was about October of last year where they called us, and I was at work at Jack White, and the nurse calls me, and she just said, she started talking real fast, said, that Isabel had the genes for giant axonal neuropathy, and she just started reading what she'd read on the internet. She said it's extremely rare that as far as they know, there's 50 to 75 cases worldwide of children that have it, and then she kept apologizing. And I was listening to her on the phone just going, okay, why are you apologizing so much? I mean, this is good. We have a diagnosis now. We can figure out treatment. So she started reading off the internet of what it could cause, and of course my heart fell out of my feet. The first symptoms that these kids see is the lack of movement and feeling in their hands and toes, and then it just kind of moves inward and eventually can cause breathing issues, and it also affects the optic nerve, so it can affect their eyesight, and it also can affect their brain and in some cases cause dementia, eventually leading to overall paralysis, and then the lungs usually are what cause death. The lungs. So again, on the internet, it said that life expectancy was no longer than the second decade of life. Also, everybody that we talked to confirmed that Isabel has to be a milder case because she was 7 at the time and she was walking without any braces on her feet, without a walker. She didn't need any kind of assistance, and most of the children by 5 are in a wheelchair. So clearly she's a slower progression. This means that we have hope again that she's not going to have to deal with the lung failure and the dementia and the early death, that her issues may mostly be mobility, and that hopefully they will take a very, very long time to progress, and that she could maybe still be going to college with a walker instead of in a wheelchair. So that's our hope right now, and I have so many reasons to be hopeful. As of now, we just are going to do everything we can to make sure that her disease progresses as slowly as possible. So we're trying to do diet and keeping up with the physical therapy, and they've suggested doing equine therapy. Apparently that's really good for helping keep up her core strength. They said that it was wonderful that we've had her in all of these classes since she was 3, that's probably helped slow the progression just because she's been so fit and active her whole life. And yeah, at this point, we're just, again, wanting her to be able to stay a kid for as long as possible. And I definitely feel God's hand in our decision to adopt Leo. It was shortly after her diagnosis in October. It was very impulsive. I mean, we just, again, had this terrible news, and we were still reeling. It had only been about a month since we found out. I didn't know if we were going to have to move to Maryland for this clinical trial. All I knew is I wasn't going to let fear stop me from giving Isabel and Lily the childhood that they deserve. I had thought about getting her a service dog, but when we researched it, everything we could find was in the range of $30,000 to find a dog. Even there's a program where you can get a grant, and even that was $17,000. And so we would need to fundraise for that amount of money, and it just seemed overwhelming with all of the other things that we needed to do at that point for Isabel. I just couldn't wrap my mind around fundraising and getting that kind of dog. So after having him for a few months and realizing how quick to learn he was and how he's always just been so much more gentle with her. I mean, he kind of throws his weight around with me and with Lily, but with Isabel, he's just always been very cautious, and um, he just sticks with her by her side more. So finally, we've been going through normal obedience training, and I found someone on Facebook that could basically check to see if they thought he'd be a good candidate. And we had her come out, and she was impressed and thought, I really do think that he's a mixed breed, but 2 of his 3 breeds are really good service animals. So it just all kind of clicked into place. I mean, her fee is still less than half of what it would take if we just basically hired someone to give us a service dog, and that process would take years. So we wouldn't have that bond that he has right now. We have to develop it later. But I really truly feel that he was meant to be our dog and meant to be her service animal. So we just really hope that by the time Leo's trained, which could take 2 years, I'm hoping he's, pretty with it within a year. But within 2 years, if he can just be by her side at any point, if she starts feeling uneven, she can reach out and grab him, and he'll be right there to keep her on her feet, which that's so much easier for a kid to be running outside with the dog next to them than it is with a walker or a wheelchair or any of the other devices that would help her. I mean, he could go grab her things off the counter and help just minimize some of the little walking that she might need to do. But